Hello, Brad here, just to say we're super proud that the Friday 5pm podcast is sponsored by the Malt Miller, the UK's best home brew store.
We use the Malt Miller for all of our homebrew experiments, as well as tapping them up for advice and binging on their awesome YouTube channel all the time.
That's why whenever we release a homebrew video, we put a recipe kit live on the Malt Miller, so you can brew with the exact same amazing ingredients that we did. The same ingredients used by pro brewers.
So alongside the Malt Miller's nitro-flushed hops, cold-stored yeast and milled-to-order malts, you can pick up recipe kits for our 5 Points Best Bitter, Russian River West Coast IPA, and now the fastest beer in the world, a hazy session IPA that goes from grain to glass in less than 48 hours.
Sign up to their newsletter at tinyurl.com/Malt Miller to get 5% off your first order. With the Malt Miller's amazing customer service and Johnny's 48-hour recipe, you could order the ingredients on a Monday and be drinking the beer by the weekend.
Speaking of which, it's Friday.
It's 5pm.
So enjoy this week's Friday 5pm podcast. Hey beer lovers, welcome to a very special edition of Friday 5pm. Special A, because we didn't have an episode last week, and B, because, well, the world's ending, right?
Bloody hope not, Johnny. And I must say I'm a little bit concerned. Probably I was quite an early adopter of being quite concerned. We were kind of gallivanting around the...
Is that how we're calling being an anxious person now, an early adopter?
For those that didn't know, I suffer with terrible anxiety anyway, so, you know, this fucking thing has really spun me out a bit. But we were travelling all around the country last week.
We were up at BeerX presenting the Society of Independent Brewers Awards. We didn't catch it there.
No, hopefully not. We were hobnobbing with lots of folk, but you know, all trying to.
They were hobnobs.
I didn't tell you about the hobnobs. Sorry, I ate all the hobnobs. They were delicious. I don't know about you, but hobnobs give me heartburn. I think because there's so much butter in them, they're so indulgent that if I have more than a few, then I get like heartburn. I'm
about 80% sure hobnobs are vegan, mate.
What?
So maybe it's fake butter.
Whatever it is, there's something in it which is way too rich for me. And would gives me heartburn, and I'm sure would give me gout if I kept smashing hobnobs.
Are we talking the chocolate ones or the plain ones?
No, chocolate, mate. Yeah, chocolate.
Oh, okay. Sorry, the chocolate ones are not vegan.
I eat plenty of chocolate, and like that never gives me heartburn. So
there we go. The avenues we go down on this podcast are even more random than the ones we manage on the channel.
Exactly,
this is
right.
Ridiculous. We're going to have Brad's full address, full medical history, probably his bank details at some point.
Okay.
I'm just trying to sell you down the river so that I can steal all your money.
Right,
essentially.
I see your game. Yeah.
It's been a long 6-year game, but I'm getting there.
It's a confidence trick, is it? I see now. I see.
Exactly that, yeah. Yeah, so lots of us are in self-isolation. Lots of us aren't going out as much as we were because our idiot Prime Minister said don't go to pubs, but also don't close pubs. So we have been working on ways that we can support the industry, support the amazing independent retailers, breweries, distributors that have essentially given us a job by producing an industry that we can talk about. And we came up with a really cool idea we've been toying with for a little while, which is a digital pub club.
Yeah, man, digital pub club. A while back, virtual pub club came to me. I felt it came to me in a dream. But it obviously didn't.
What it did come to you is in you seeing it done.
I must have seen.
The same
I mean, I don't really follow that many beer tubers on Instagram, but I must have seen the hashtag or something because basically, there's some other guy. He seems like a lovely guy. He's operating. He's got a hashtag virtual pub club. Yeah, we had to relinquish the name because we felt bad. So we're now Digital Pub Club.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We don't want to steal anyone else's idea.
We're not into that.
We're called the Digital Pub Club. And what we're going to be doing is trying to recreate, not necessarily a pub itself, but the feeling of being at the pub for you guys at home. So we do a monthly live show anyway, and we're going to convert that into the Digital Pub Club, where we'll be hosting a pub quiz, pub games, but most importantly, we're asking all of you guys who intend to come and watch and get a bit of social interaction in these isolated times, to go to your local independent beer retailer or brewery and buy a 6-pack of something delicious that you like to drink in the pub. It could be a mixed 6-pack or just 6 beers, as well as a delicious pub snack from another indie retailer. And we're going to be doing beer and food matching. You guys are going to be doing beer and food matching. We're writing a pub quiz as we speak, and we should have a couple of hours of lots of fun.
Oh yeah, 2 hours of, well, an hour and a half, 2 hours of absolute nonsense, I'm sure.
Absolute unedited nonsense.
We're going to have a music round, aren't we, Johnny? With some great musical clips that we can get people to guess what the song is.
There's going to be a true or false round where we read out a ridiculous beer name and you tell us whether it's real or not.
Yeah. We're going to have a Nazi round, aren't we? Oh no, hang on. We're not having a Nazi round. Sorry.
Is that another club you're part of?
No, hang on a minute. I'm not a Nazi, by the way. No, there's a comedy show I like called Wasted, which is on Channel 4. I recommend it actually in these new times. Go and watch Wasted. It's a little bit like Spaced, but for a new generation, and it's set in a sort of little town outside of Bristol, and it's just a sort of story of some hapless 20-odd-year-olds that are kind of wasters, hence the name Wasted. And there's a pub quiz episode which is absolutely amazing, and I won't spoil it, but there's some references to a Nazi round in the pub quiz. Yes, but go watch.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified that. Yeah. So if you want to join in the Digital Pub Club, it's on this coming Wednesday at 8 p.m. on our YouTube channel. There's a link in the show notes. So, Brad, you've already tipped Wasted. How else are you spending your time in isolation?
It's been kind of weird. I've just finished a big TV job, which I was hoping it was going to kind of keep going on. I can't really talk about it because it's still in development, but I don't know. It seems like all the movie and TV industries are shutting down right now, so I'm a little bit scared. But this week I've been mostly painting my kitchen pink and sort of redecorating my kitchen. So I've got a kind of metal 1950s kitchen, which I put in myself a few years back. And I'm just gonna. It's kind of baby pink and a sort of teal and cream coloured metal units, and I've just been painting the walls pink, Johnny. Very soft pink.
I'm enjoying the fact that maybe if we end up in isolation for 6 months, your kitchen's going to change colour multiple times.
It could do. I get quite bored quite quickly, so. Who knows what sort of DIY things.
You could make some craft beer channel merch.
Yeah, could do, I suppose. So I've been doing that. I've been looking at how we're gonna potentially brew, like start home brewing, and making space for that at the ranch. And I was just looking at a sideboard today that I was thinking, if I chop the top off of that and like put this new bit on, have a side like folding up, I could make a sort of wheelable cart that we could brew off the top of. So I've just been
Amazing.
thinking
Mobile
about
brewery.
stuff like that, but don't know. It's all in development, and it's all kind of a bit all over the shop at the minute. But yeah, hopefully home brewing is going to come soon.
I hope so. I think the homebrew shops are still open, so you can grab supplies if that's something you want to do.
Yeah.
I just did a post on Instagram. I was writing a story and I had to look up something from a book I read, a beer book, and I was suddenly like, hey, we should do a post on amazing beer books to read during self-isolation. So I just put that on Instagram with all of my favourite beer books, including our own beer school, which is available digital and print from Amazon and independent retailers. So you could go there and see some great beer books that you could learn from while we're unable to go out to the pub.
Yeah.
Also, I thought it'd be a great time to re-promote Looking for a New England, which is our feature-length documentary.
Yeah, man. People have got a little bit more time on their hands these days, so
exactly that. So it's 85 minutes long. It's a road trip that Brad and I took last March around New England. So we visited some of the absolute absolute dons of the New England brewing scene. So we went to Allagash, where it kind of all started. We went to The Alchemist, Hill Farmstead. Notch, who make the best lager outside of the Czech Republic, in our opinion. Where else did we go? We queued at Treehouse for 2.5 hours. That was a fun thing to film.
Hang on, where else did we go? What was the green one? Was that Trilly? No, hang on.
The green one?
The massive green trucks. The young
Bissell Brothers.
That's it. I got a hat from them. Yeah.
You remember the truck, but not the brewery.
I remember the green.
That figures.
Yeah. Sorry, I knew it was Bissell Brothers.
Yeah, it was a great green
brain's
truck.
just a bit in colour mode at the moment with all the pink painting.
Not used to talking.
No.
That. Yeah. So do check out that. I'll put the link to that in the show notes,
mate,
as well, so you can look at that.
What an incredible trip that was! Just while we were all locked in, just to watch that back and see two guys having a fucking whale of a time crossing country in America, in better times, sunsets by frozen lakes, drinking some of the best beer in the world, throwing snowballs, just absolutely having it, American style. Amazing.
It was a real life highlight, and hopefully it's not just an hour and a quarter of feeling jealous. It's learning and enjoying it. There's a bit where we go to a karaoke bar and I sing the greatest song on earth. So there's lots to digest in that documentary.
It's superb. Superb.
Yeah. And then we did 6 episodes off the back of it as well. So at every brewery that we visited and put in the documentary, we filmed our own mini documentary so sort of half-hour episodes at all of those breweries. So there's a good afternoon's watching to be had there, and it's some of the best content we've made. We were planning to make the second feature-length documentary this summer, but obviously that's off. So we'll have to reevaluate that and work out what we want to do this year, because we do want to do a feature-length documentary every single year. So we'll announce when we can on that. Going back to Digestive Biscuit.
Yes.
Last week we weren't just at a Beer X, we were also at our first ever and obviously favourite Patreon.
Oh yes, obviously.
Glenafric Brewery, which, despite the name, is not in Glenafric in Scotland. It's actually in the Wirral. On the Wirral? In the Wirral? Don't know.
In the Wirral, I believe. It's on the Mersey. It's in Birkenhead, isn't it? Just across the water from...
On the Mersey in the Wirral in Birkenhead. Yeah. And we went there to brew a Scottish biscuit-inspired Imperial Stout.
Yeah, man. We can say the name of the Scottish biscuit, can't we? It's not top secret.
Yeah.
Tunnocks. Bloody Tunnocks, mate. I think, for me... It's got to be up there in the best snacks ever. I mean, I don't know about pub snacks,
I agree.
But I freaking love a Tunnocks bar, man. It's got the quality. Our American friends won't know what a Tunnocks bar is, but it's in the middle. It's got wafers, a bit like a Kit Kat, which I know you've got in America. Except, think about a Kit Kat, and in between
it's like a caramel Kit Kat
wafer,
before caramel Kit Kats
exactly,
were a thing.
There's caramel. There's a little layer of delicious caramel that's gonna, that sugary goodness. It's gonna get you through the cold Scottish Highland weather, and it's probably gonna give you diabetes if you eat enough of it.
But importantly, not heartburn.
But not heartburn. Never get heartburn from it. I've eaten a pack of 8 of them in one sitting, I think, when I was very drunk, potentially. Wow. I dare to think how many calories that is.
Don't think
it's basically it's the physical equivalent of the liquid Iron Brew. It's the Scottish embodiment of bad for you but amazingly tasty junk food.
Yeah, and it's an institution. I remember the first time we flew up to Brewdog, I can't remember what the airline was, but we got given Tunnocks wafers.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't
as
it?
like the free snack on the plane.
Amazing, yeah.
That's how institutionalised this wafer is. So, because the guys are Scottish who own Glenafric, we got chatting. I wanted to make an Imperial Stout because we'd never made one as a collab. And pastry stouts are popular, but I didn't want to make a pastry stout. I've gone off them. So I wanted to make a pastry stout that didn't have any kind of pastry elements. So we've taken what could have been a pastry stout. Usually people just chuck a load of Tunnocks wafers in there and hope it adds flavour. But instead, we basically picked apart the elements of the Tunnocks wafer and tried to recreate that purely with the power of malt. And the wort, obviously, it was tasting very sweet, a lot like a Tunnocks. but I feel like it had a little bit of roast, a little bit of milk chocolate, a little bit of crackery, wafery dryness, and a little bit of sweet caramel. So I think we've done it. And apparently the fermenter is basically exploding with the amount of fermentable sugar we put in it.
There was some sort of special stuff went in as well, didn't it? I don't know if we can talk about. Can we talk about the malt bill and the recipe and everything? We should leave that for the video. Dare to say,
yeah, we'll give the surprises.
Just amazing
with the video.
Yeah, can't wait.
Speaking of special stuff that went into it, while we were there, we also filmed this week's video, which came out on Wednesday. Unfortunately, I'd had a couple of beers when I scheduled it and accidentally put it to come out at 4 a.m. instead of 4 p.m. So that was a surprise drop. I woke up in the morning to all the comments and I was like, did I sleep for 36 hours? Or
am I dead?
Am I dead now?
Is this heaven?
Did I get coronavirus and die instantly?
No.
But that is on our YouTube channel, just in case you missed it. And we tried CBD beer for the first time, which caused some consternation.
Yeah.
We're actually, you can see how many subscribers you gain from each video, and we lost subscribers.
I mean, I personally don't get it because I think we should legalize weed, and we should decriminalize it and tax it. And CBD oil, for me, only does good. I don't see the downside of CBD oil. If it helps people with their ailments, makes them feel better, even if it's just perceived or placebo effect, if they're drinking it in very small amounts, fuck it. Who cares? Let them drink it. It's natural,
Yeah, and I think the important thing to notice about legalization of drugs is that it gives the government A, the ability to tax, but B, to control and look after people who do abuse it. Much like we have with alcohol, there's more support there than there is for the illicit drugs.
All of the revenue.
So anyway, we're not going to get into that debate. We did get into that in the comments a little bit. We always try to reply, even if we think people are trolling, just to check. Because sometimes it's a fine line between an angry person and a troll. And there were lots of angry people in the comments, but no trolls, and we had some good discussions. We did attract a new kind of person, though, with the first episode of the Craft Gear channel. It's particularly so we'll go into the comments now. My favourite guy, he was a guy called Space Bike.
So these are like kind of stoner people, right? That's what we're gonna...
Yeah, who I think just sit there waiting for CBD or THC to crop up in their feed.
Please, can you read this out in like a real stoner voice, please, Johnny? Or like an Adam Buxton type. Adam Buxton does like the crazy voices, doesn't he, when he's reading YouTube comments? I want it to be a bit...
I'm trying to work out what kind of voice. I'm thinking like Brad Pitt in Fight Club?
Brad Pitt in...
Brad Pitt in... Is it LA Confidential?
No, he's a stoner in True Romance.
True Romance, that's the one I'm thinking of, not LA Confidential. Very different film.
Both excellent films. True Romance, potentially one of the... Well, it's definitely Tarantino's best film, I would say. He wrote
I
love
that film so much.
It's a
just the soundtrack
as
well is amazing.
Great movie. Yeah.
So yes, Space Bike said he commented multiple times. I don't know whether he commented, smoked another, then started commenting again. But I started getting involved with him and then thought, actually, I shouldn't. So he said, I usually butt chug Heineken, but Corona recently because of the news. But I think I'm going to butt chug some CBD beer now.
Yeah, man. I woke up at, I think I woke up at about 7 a.m. I saw that comment and I was like, what's happened here? I was like, we haven't even uploaded the video. What's all this butt chugging Corona shit? I was like, this is insane. And then I realised what had happened and just scrolled down and was like laughing. It was it's bizarre.
Glorious,
like it was attracted a totally different kind of vibe, hasn't it?
Yeah. The other comment I enjoy and the one I replied to is, so he said, after I smoke a blunt, I don't actually know what a blunt is, I throw it in my bush latte, don't know what a bush latte is, and chug it down to get extra ripped. Assuming ripped, he means stoned, not muscly.
Yeah. So a blunt is it's a joint that doesn't have any tobacco
spliff, right?
in it. No, it doesn't have any tobacco.
Oh,
in it. So
right.
You're smoking
okay.
a blunt, which means 100%. It's blunt. It hasn't got. It's not cut with anything.
Right.
Blunt means on the nose.
So I then replied.
Yeah. Go on.
Right. So then I replied, "What on earth is a bush latte?" Because I got the feeling I knew what a blunt was. I didn't know the specifics. And he came back with, pure nonsense. He said, "A bush latte is the finest of brews for the hillbilliest amongst us. The ones where you get down at a family reunion with cousin Becky because she's looking at you with her good eye, and after quite a few bush lattes, Becky doesn't look like the mother of a six anymore, but more like your hot sister, the stripper one, or at least that's what you tell the boys after rocking the trailer with cousin Becky." I mean, what?
What's this guy's name?
What world is this guy living in?
I think is he trolling? I don't know, man. Or is he like genuinely a hillbilly dude who just loves banging his cousin or whatever?
I really hope he is trolling.
It's good
trolling.
He's got
great trolling.
He's got great comic. It's very very emotive language he's using. I can see the trailer rocking. Let's say. I think that I want to speculate that a bush latte, maybe that's bong water. I don't know. If you maybe he's drinking his bong water, because you can you rip a bong. I can't remember what he said. What was the first comment again, or the second comment?
A bush latte is the finest of the brews for the hillbilliest amongst us.
Yeah, I know.
I like that he says amongst.
Okay.
Like,
yes.
He's clearly got
diction.
Well, educated in the 1500s.
Yes. Maybe he is a hillbilly. Maybe they're in isolation already, apart from the YouTubes, and they've developed their own sort of dialect. That's a Middle English sort of dialect. Bizarre, but I love it. I thought it was great. But yeah, we did get a lot of weird and wonderful comments on that, and some sort of quite negative stuff as well, which I didn't really understand why. I can get that drugs are bad, kids, but we're a channel that we talk about alcohol. Alcohol is like the biggest drug in the world. That it's legalized.
Yeah, I mean that was exactly my point to everyone. People were like, you shouldn't be doing videos about CBD, and we're like, we do videos about the most harmful drug. Yeah. To the body. Mm. Like not because alcohol is significantly more harmful than these other drugs, because it's the most consumed.
Yeah, man.
So for us to start moralising about what people shouldn't be doing weed is absurd.
Yeah, it's not our place to do that. So we might do a few less.
We are compromised to the extreme.
Exactly. We might call it on the CBD videos for a little bit, just to see if all that kind of negativity goes away. But
we'll see. And I think society will change as well as we get more used to the idea that hops and marijuana or hemp are actually relatively closely related.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We had one comment saying you shouldn't be putting unnatural stuff like that in your beer.
Wow.
It's just an extract from a plant, much like hop extract, which is used in most of your beers. It's an interesting narrative that's been created around these perfectly natural ingredients. We should say though that a lot of CBD oils are probably not natural, probably don't contain as much CBD as they're boasting, particularly in the UK. It's not regulated yet. So do bear in mind that we tried one that was made with American CBD that's highly regulated. So we still have to caveat with a bit of caution and a bit of seriousness.
I was blown away. I think it was probably for the weight of it, it's one of the most expensive things I've ever held in my hand. 1 litre of it was $4,500, the CBD extract. So, I think it's...
Yeah, Brad tried to slip it into his pocket, but I stopped him.
The security guards... Trevor's sons they weren't having it. They had their eagle eyes on
you at all times.
Man.
Yeah. Right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that podcast, guys. I hope it's given you 20 minutes of relief from boredom, from the kids, or from work, because a lot of us are still having to work from home. Please do join us on Wednesday at 8 p.m. on the Craft Beer channel for the first ever digital pub club. The link is in the show notes. Otherwise, we'll see you there.
Yeah, we love you guys. Stay sane, stay safe, stay inside.
And keep washing those hands.
Keep washing those hands. Stay cool. Stay cool, guys.